Is this mic? This mic is working. Okay, cool. Right, we're going to talk about Postgres high availability. We'll start off with a very quick introduction to us. I'm Dave. I work with my colleague Derk. I used to be based in Amsterdam for 12 years, living next door, so it's very special to be back at Packhouse de Zwijger, but I was literally 11 years next door to here. I'm now in Spain, but we still work together. So, Derk, over to you to introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I think everybody knows me for playing chess on conferences. So that's what I do. I look for an excuse to be around all of you. And sometimes you have to say something on stage, so you can go to a lot of conferences and then play a lot of chess with a lot of people. So that's me.
Okay, so let's start on the on getting going. So I'll come over there. So
it's helping you out.
It is. It's tricky. I've hurt my leg, and this is a presentation with a lot of moving parts, and we have microphones to hold. Anyway, so this whole presentation started off from a slightly painful discussion we had, and one of our team was saying, "You'll never get the devs to understand this." And me and Derk were saying, they need to understand this. How can we communicate this better? So this is our attempt to solve the problem of explaining the various replication choices you have to make. So we're going to talk about standalone, asynchronous, and synchronous replication. And they're valid choices for different scenarios, and the devs need to understand some of those choices. So we're demoing it with cards. We're not playing poker, but we are playing tricks. Some cards will go missing. Some cards will be visible, and they're not visible, and there'll be all sorts of fun and games like that. So shall we start with the actual concepts we want to get across? So Derk, you were going to talk about RPO, RTO, and failovers, switches.
Yeah, it's one of these things you have to talk about with developers. Usually the conversation starts with, what do you need? Well, I need a database which can grow infinitely. It's never down. What were the other requirements? They are very fast. No matter what you ask. No, they never ask about cheap. They don't pay for them. Our manager complains about the price, but the developers, they never complain about what the database costs. And then we try to tell them, like, it's not magic. There's actually data transport involved. And
I think there's just one other thing they always ask, well, they're asking more and more, is like this data has to be globally accessed. So there has to be the same data everywhere in the same world, instantly.
Forever and ever.
Forever and ever.
Yeah, forever and ever.
Not hard.
Yeah, and then we try to explain, like, it's not magic. There are moving parts involved, and all the data is stored on a server, and sometimes the server actually, something happens. We lose a memory card, the CPU burns, we lose power in the data center, and then we have to use another database in another data center. So sometimes this is planned, so we do a switch over. We prepare nicely, multiple DBAs are watching the process, and the primary database goes from one data center to the other data center. That's okay. Sometimes, in the middle of the night usually, something happens unexpectedly, and then it's like, crap, I'm the only DBA on duty, I'm fixing this right now, I don't care about the devs. And then the day after they get slightly mad at you. And then you have to talk about, well, this has to happen. We told you when you requested the database, but then you didn't care. But I told you. And now it actually happened, and now it's my problem. That feels weird. And then we talk about, did we lose data? How much time was the database offline? So this is the RPO. What is the recovery point objective? How much data did we lose in the process? And on the other side, the devs also care about, it's the RTO, the recovery time objective. How much time did it actually take to get the database back online?
Okay, so those are the initial conversations we have with our devs. Now, to understand the presentation, I want to talk a little bit about database internals and data files and different types of data files. So, very simply, the two databases I know very well are Oracle and Postgres. I've worked with both for over a decade, so I know, and they're very similar in many, many ways. And at this level, they are very similar. You have the heap, which is where all your data is, and your indexes, and your data is sort of just higgledy-piggledy spread and it's not meant to be accessed in a neat sequential order. So it's unordered data, and the I/O is slow. And then you have the transaction logs, and on a traditional database, and all this technology comes from the sort of 80s and 90s, even up until 10 years ago, we were all running on spinning disks. So you wrote your transactions out to the transaction logs. It was super, super quick because it was sequential writes. And when data came in, you just kept a copy of the unordered data in memory. And periodically, there's a job in the database, certainly on Oracle and Postgres, called checkpoint, and that writes all the dirty pages in memory to disk. And that is really, really important for consistency. And developers are very unaware of it because, one, it's in the background. It's pretty much invisible. I like in the latest version of Postgres, log checkpoint is now on by default. So the Postgres, the devs will at least see it, but it'll be quick because on their laptops they have small data. But on big systems with lots of RAM, a terabyte of RAM, someone mentioned 10 terabytes of RAM for a server. I'm just thinking, like, how long will your checkpoint take? If you know, it's like, what's going to happen there if you have buffers that big? So it's, this is for really big systems. It's a crunch, and it's the bigger you get, the more of an issue checkpoint can become. And we have some really busy systems at Adyen. So checkpoint is something which Adyen does a lot of work tuning. And it's something which is implicated in failovers and switches. So those are the concepts. Let's start. Should we start playing? I think we're ready.
Yeah, I think so. I almost knocked out the sponsor raffle thingy. So then we would already have a winner. So I will be careful. I'm sorry. Today, we have a very simple application. Financial transactions are just complicated. So today we have an application and we are processing cards. We love you all, so we start with the hearts. So yeah, I thought this might be a challenge with the mic and the cards. Yeah. All right. So I'm an application, and Dave will be the database.
Okay. Let's see if I can do it this way. Cool.
All right, Dave. I have a two of hearts. Just pretend to be a database. What would you do with this lovely heart?
So this is how the game works. So you have the two of hearts, which is one copy of the data. One copy of the data, the big card. And this box is the heap. So this is where all the data is sort of unordered on disk, and it's slow access. And also, if I'm holding a card up, that means it's in memory. So it's in buffer, but not in the heap yet. So it's quite complicated, but the first thing I do is I take the card and I take the copy of the card and I play it sequentially into the wall very quickly. The transaction is now safe. I can process more data. Thank you. So.
Right. Let's practice some more with better sound this time, maybe. Okay. I've got 3 of hearts.
Okay, so I'll go through that all again, and hopefully people online can hear as well. So there's 2 copies at the moment. So there's one copy of the 3 of hearts, which I write directly to the wall. Super fast, direct I/O. It's sequential I/O. It's really, really quick. And the copy which will go to the heap, I'm just putting in memory at the moment. So those are the stuff in memory I'm holding in my hand. So shall we do a couple more?
Yeah, I thought I will increase the pressure.
Okay.
2 cards, 1 transaction.
Yep.
How would you handle multiple statements?
I
one
can
commit?
do 2 cards in 1 transaction. So I put both the I put both the 4 of hearts and the 5 of hearts in the wall log. And it's all done very quickly, of course.
Has it been committed now?
So, yes, right. So now, but I've got all this in memory, and the stuff which I'm holding in my memory is starting to get a little bit heavy.
You want to clear your memory?
I do. I want to make sure that all this data which is in memory is nicely, securely on disk.
Okay. So how would you checkpoint this?
Well, this is an old-fashioned database on spinning disks, so I write it really slowly to one disk, and then I go to another disk sector, and then I do another circuitous route around the room, and I write to the other one, and then I write to another page. So those were slow circuit, long-winded.
But now you have nothing in memory and nothing to do. I can handle this. I'm an application. I have more data for you. I think Boris...
Boris, I need you back.
Can you please stay?
Yeah. So now we've got the 6, 7, and 8. Right. Okay, so let's process those. So 6, 7, and 8 are now in the wall, so that data is safe.
I've got more.
Okay. 9 and 10.
Just be quick with them, because I like this part. Because I like when my databases are slightly busy.
Okay.
And you know what happens, right? You have a database, it's a single database, and then some unexpected event happens, so you lose your database. And now it's like, Dave, I've got cards.
Oh, I lost all my cards. So, yeah.
Damn it. Dave, I want to do business.
Okay.
We're down here.
Okay.
Don't run, Boris.
Now I can go to my war log, and there are also, I didn't mention at the beginning, there are control files, which were like pointers, so you know. And I go to the war log, and I go to the control file, and I say the last checkpoint operation was was the 5 of hearts. So that means I've got to get the 6, 7, 8, and 9 out of the wall, and then from the wall log, I now have, from rereading the wall and reprocessing the wall, I have them back in memory, and then I probably ought to checkpoint them and get them finally to disk. But I think I'm back and ready.
You think you are back?
Yes, I am back. I have the data. Your data is back. I know what's going on. I haven't lost anything.
Well, you didn't lose anything, so the recovery point objective was kind of perfect. But I don't want to be impolite, but it took like forever.
Do you know, I've heard that a lot of these big companies like Google and Facebook, they like using replicas. Should we try a replica? If Google does it, it must be right.
Well, why would we do this? Like, what do we need? Okay, so I can be a replica. I'm not used to listening to what Dave says, but I will do it today. But we have another problem, because I can stand here, I can listen to Dave, but who can be the application? I have more data to process. I've got a stack of spades. Who can help us out and hand us the spades? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, please welcome Allard. I'm in one data center, and Dave is in the other. Maybe it's, for the application, easiest to be close to the primary. Yes. We can remember it, because, look, I've got a red hat. You can be the primary.
Yep.
I will be the blue hat, so you know who's who.
So, red hat for primary.
Yeah, I'm ready to listen to you.
Okay, I'm in charge. So,
can you
application,
be next to Dave?
You can only talk. You should really probably best if you go that side. The logistics getting a little complicated. But
oh yeah, and now Boris, you need to extend your arm.
Thanks, Boris. So the idea is you talk to me, I talk to the replica. You can't talk directly. Okay. We are now playing spades. So this is. Oh yes. So we.
Oh yeah, I will update the slides.
Yeah, so in the next slide, so we're now, this part of the presentation is all asynchronous replication. So we have a primary with the red hat, a
replica
with the blue hat, and we have, it was Ellert who is playing the application. Cool. And the application has given me the first bit of data to process, which is the 2 of spades. So now I put the 2 of spades in memory, like before. I write it to my wall file, and I can get another transaction, because your data is now committed, so it's safe. But in the background, I'm also, and it's difficult to do because I'm not multi-processor computer, but I'm giving this to Derk. So Derk also has a copy, or the replica also has a copy. So, and if you give me the 3, okay, so I save the 3 in here, and I pass I pass the threes on both sides, 2 copies for Derk because he's got 1 for the heap and 1 for the wall. Okay, so I maybe do the 4 and the 5 together. Okay, so the 4 or the 5, they're in my hand, so they're nicely in memory. They're on disk in the wall file, so fast writes, and I give them to Derk. They got mixed up in the internet and they come out in the wrong order. But,
I can manage.
cool.
I have all the time in the world.
So, okay, so what's the next card? Okay, so everyone can see the next card's the Joker. So let me play the Joker to Derk. And
I lost that transaction.
yeah. It was a select query, the transaction, so no data was lost. So this select query is, how many spades do you have at the moment? So on the primary, we have the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. So I respond with those 4 cards. But what happens if we run that query on the replica? Sorry.
Well, I received up to the 5 of spades. I've written them to my wall file, but let me see what I actually have. You can only read the 2 and the 3 at me. I pretend to be slightly busy. I was not. But still, everything what I receive and I write it to the wall file also has to be processed so you can actually read it. So even though I received 4 cards, I've been only to apply 2 of these cards to the heap. So if you would ask me at this moment, what cards do you have and what cards can I read? It's only the 2 and 3 of spades. So I'm slightly lagging. Letitia already did a good job explaining the difference between application lag and reply lag. No, reply lag. Yeah. So there's a difference between not having received a card and not having applied a card. There are 2 different kind of lags, but for a developer reading from the replica, they both matter.
Okay, so we're going to play some more. Let's play some more transactions. So if we play the 6 and the 7.
Oh, I'm slightly thirsty, Dave. I will take a sip of water, but you can keep doing business.
Okay, we've lost Derk. He's not paying attention, so we'll just put Derk on hold for the moment. But we carry on processing the 6 and the 7. Okay. And the application's getting impatient, so we're going to play one more card. So we'll play the 8. Okay, and we're just giving up on Derk because...
Oh, I'm here, just waiting.
You're just waiting?
Yeah, did you miss me?
I thought you'd gone for a drink.
Yeah, I'm not drinking like for the rest of the day.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
But the problem is Derk is now lagging.
No, so, I'm up to date.
Well, have you got the 7?
Oh, no, I didn't have the 7, but I was not aware of this 7. It was just lagging a little bit, but I didn't know about it.
Okay.
Only you knew, I guess.
Right, but in terms of the risks of asynchronous replication, it is possible, in fact, it's quite likely to get lag in the system for various reasons.
I think I hear our DBA talking.
Oh.
I actually like what she's saying.
Okay.
She does a proposal that I should become the primary and you can listen to me. You do what I say.
I like this. There's less cards as the replica to hold. So
that makes sense.
Okay, so we're switching.
How can we prepare? Because we know it's coming. It's a week in advance. Can we do anything to make this process as smooth as we can?
Checkpoint.
Okay. I go first. You go first.
I'm going to go first because I have a lot of checkpointing to do. So, okay. So I now write all my data to the heap and sort of circuitous path. Really wanted a big box so you could see that I could place them over here and over here. But in the end, I have on my old spinning disks, I've written all my cards to different bits of disk on different drives. So very much random I/O.
All right, I have not much to do, I think. I only have 2 cards to go. I was already pretty much up to date, so I will do this one and this one. I'm good.
Excellent.
Are we ready?
I think we are.
All right, let's go.
Okay. So.
All right, let's switch.
Okay.
This is so much better. I like to be in charge. So, Dave, you've been the primary for quite a while.
Yep.
You were standing here with all these cards. I can imagine maybe you're a bit tired, or you need some maintenance, maybe operating system upgrade.
Well, you know, those people from security have been around, and they keep saying, I have to run that patch. So
Right.
I'm going to take a break to run that essential patch and make the security team happy.
All right, if you do the job, we are an asynchronous replication system anyway, so
yeah.
I will do business with our application alert. I'm good.
You told me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do this. Ooh, even for me it's complicated. All right, let's save some cards for Dave, card for the wall. Yeah, good. More cards. Save something for Dave, something for me, something for me, something for Dave. Dave, are you there yet?
Yes, I'm just coming back slowly. I need one more reboot for the security patch, but I'll be with you in 5 minutes.
Ready in 5 minutes. I guess you don't have that much memory then. Right, so this is a nice situation, right? Finally, we managed to do the painful security update on the operating system. Application didn't notice. We were able to do some business. So I think this is a good situation, but there's only one downside. I have these spades up to the queen. Did I commit this? You're pretty sure I have it, right?
The application is sure that it is safe.
Application
committed.
just telling me the application is very well aware that all this information is safe. But Dave doesn't know, and Dave is my backup. He's my replica. So if something now happens to me, this data gets lost. Allard thinks this is actually committed, and Dave knows nothing about it. So if I just leave with these cards, pretend to be in my pocket, this data gets lost and nobody knows. It's kind of an ugly situation.
Well, there is another option. And it's going to fix all our problems, I'm being told.
All right, I like it. I like perfect solutions.
So
Is
the
there-
perfect solution is synchronous replication. Let's play synchronous replication.
Why? Do we have any valuable things to process?
I think we've got...
just losing some spades, it's not like a big deal, right?
I've heard we've got some diamonds coming our way.
Ooh,
And we don't want to lose the company diamonds, so...
Okay. Is there any price involved? Is it like, do we have to pay more or?
Well, the truth is we can't afford to lose any diamonds.
Okay, so just be careful and then we're good. And then everybody happy.
Well, let's play and see.
All right, let's have some diamonds. Let's process some diamonds.
Okay.
These are hearts. We love the hearts, but they are not that precious. Cool. I've got diamonds. All right, we have some diamonds. Let's process diamonds because nobody wants to lose diamonds. Now, can I just start with the 2? Let's see how it goes. Yeah, just the 2. Just start easy. Dave,
Okay.
I have diamonds. Don't lose
Excellent.
them.
Okay, so the diamonds are going in the wall. Dirk, I have... I don't have a commit token.
No, you don't have commit tokens. We don't have enough.
I have a virtual commit token, which I'm passing back to the primary database to confirm that this transaction is securely in the wall log.
Oh, cool.
So-
I can also write it to the wall log, so we're safe, right? This the 2 of diamonds has been committed. It's really safe.
Great.
Cool. Application is happy. He's smiling at me.
Okay.
Right, Dave. I've got 3 diamonds.
3 of diamonds. I have the 3 of diamonds. The 3 of diamonds has been recorded in the wall log. I
Oh,
pass back a virtual commit token.
I will also commit the 3 of diamonds. 3 of diamonds have been committed. Oh, this is going so well. We're never losing them.
Yeah, get on with it.
I have the feeling my application
That is the sound of our devs.
is taking a
4
long
of diamonds are in the wall log on the replica, so we. Can,
multi-threading.
oh,
Did you commit the 4?
yes.
Right, let's...
The 5 are on the replica.
Oh, and the 4. I lost track of my administration. Right, they're on the wall. I committed everything. I think we're doing a perfect job here. We are so safe. We will never lose any diamond. there are no downsides, right?
It's taking a long time.
Sorry?
It's taking a while.
It's taking a while. Yeah, but it's secure.
I'm hearing a voice. It's the voice of the DBA manager who's coming in. And, hi Rita, how's it going? There's a problem on the Dutch trains and we don't know where Derk has gone. Okay, I will take over from Derk. So the first thing I have to do, if I'm going to take over from Derk, is I have to make sure he's properly down. So this is revenge time.
Hey! I was the primary here. What are you doing? You know what? I stopped being the primary. Screw you.
Yes.
And I take the memory with me.
Okay. This is an ungracious failover. So I'm now the DBA in charge, and the first thing I have to do is grab the red hat. And okay, so I'm now putting on the red hat, and because I am now, all the DNS has been, or whatever's been updated, everyone is now talking to me, and I can start processing it again. Turn this hat round. So, 6 of diamonds. Okay. Now, there's a problem. Indeed, I've lost my replica. So, this is awkward. Okay, so at this stage, we get an unusual wait event, and lots of people in the war room. So it's lots of excitement. And eventually, I think, we have this data center. Let's use the backup. So we have a third option. Okay. But there is a problem with the third option.
Why? I'm here. I'm not sure that I'm still visible online, but...
Yeah, but the problem is that I've hurt my leg, and now you're a little bit further away, that we're going to need to have a network volunteer.
Well, I'm tall. I have very long arms.
Fantastic. So,
You can call me Tux.
Tux. Okay, please come on stage, Tux. A big round of applause for Tux, who's going to play the network. So, if you can... okay, so we have a DC, and we have a network volunteer, but the problem is we haven't played the 6 of diamonds. So the first thing is 6 of diamonds. If I give that to the network guy, Tux, if you can take that,
No, it's also inefficient network today.
I think we have a routing problem as well.
Right. Can you give this to Dave so he knows this has been committed?
And can we have a network person in this room? That routing. Okay. We are back in business. So we have the real token now. So I have a commit token. I actually can record that. So that the 6 of diamonds has been processed. So let's do the 7. 7 of diamonds. This is the card for Derk. And then, okay, the network's running a bit smoother now. At least the routing.
Thank you. Can you give this token to Dave so he knows I actually did commit this?
Okay, excellent. I have the physical commit token because these are big amounts of diamonds now. So let's record that as well. That's been processed. I put the commit token and yes, so, but that was human error. A real database wouldn't do that. Okay, so. Okay, thank you, network.
Right, thank you. Can you please wait?
Okay, so...
I know what's coming.
Now we're freezing time, so we're really down in the millisecond time frames. This is, you've got to think about these edge cases when you're a DBA. So the next card is actually a query. So if we have the query, and I'm just going to wave, it's a joker at the replica DB. So the question is, how many diamonds do you have? And in my case, the last diamond played was the 6 and 7, and I wrote that to the wall log. But the 8 of diamonds, I have it in memory, but it's in a special status of uncommitted. And I'm not going to return uncommitted data. So I will return the 2 to the 7. Derk, what do you have in memory?
Oh, actually, I received everything, and the commit token for the 8 of diamonds is on the way to you. So I committed 8 of diamonds already. So if you would ask me, what diamonds do I have? I can show all 8 of them, which is kind of a weird situation, because if you would ask Dave, even though he's the primary, he's slightly lagging. I know this is kind of an extreme situation, but I always think this is kind of funny, because when we talk about replication, we usually talk about lag. Apply lag, replication lag. But now the network got disturbed. I have committed, and I'm ahead of Dave, even though I'm wearing the blue hat. It's pretty cool.
It takes some thinking about it. The replica is ahead of the primary, because most of the time the replica is behind the primary. Even though we have sync commit on, there is still the potential for apply lag. So you won't lose the data, but if you query it, most of the time you will miss data or get the right data. But in practice, you can also go in the future. So sync commit has a few edge cases as well. So it does take quite a lot of management, and not everyone at Adyen is a huge fan of sync commit all the time. Although we don't want to lose the diamonds. We are a bank, so we're not allowed to lose the diamonds. So.
Well, do we care about commit tokens? That's a good question.
Well, absolutely, because without the commit token, the 8 of diamonds will never be saved. But honestly, this is the end of the presentation, so...
Right. So all diamonds have been committed?
You'll be pleased to hear the 8 of diamonds is safely in the wall with a token.
Allard, thank you for being our application today. I have some Dutch treat for you, and you were slightly shorter on stage, but it was a lot of hard work and running. So also for you, some sour waffles.
Thank you, Val.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. Okay. Thank you.
So, replication. When you see it happening so in front of you, I think it makes a lot of sense that there's actually transport involved, there are delays, and there are different setups. And I would argue all setup is equally good as the other ones. There are times you just need something else. We can always have a synchronous commit situation, but it's hard. All this transport creates lag. And if you have a single replica and synchronous replication, if you lose this single replica, you're already out of business. And also probably there's more network involved. So when you have synchronous replication and only 2 clusters, the risk is more than twice as big as having a single cluster for having an outage. So if you want to have synchronous replication in kind of a safe way, I think you need at least 3 databases.
And that's what I assume most people do.
Yeah, but it means you have 3 times the hardware, 6 times all of the data. So it's not like you don't have to pay anything for this complicated system. So if you don't need it, just don't do it.
Absolutely. And we have a lot of data to look after. So it's not cheap once you get to the scales. We are having so many copies, but yeah. We don't want to lose the diamonds either. So no. Sometimes we do it.
But sometimes a single database is a perfect solution for the problem you have. Maybe this is some reporting database and some reporting folks are working with this database, and if it's down, maybe a few people are having coffee for a few hours, but it's not like a disaster. We will refill this database, whatever the data came from original source, but we can rebuild it, so there's no need for any complications here. So in these cases, a single database is a perfect solution for the problem.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, we do use all 3 data types, all 3 types of replication, standalone, asynchronous, and synchronous replication. There are more options and things to tune and more edge cases, but it already got quite complicated in just the 35 minutes, and this is above the level at which most devs get to. So, yeah. Hopefully, if we had devs in the audience, I was meant to ask, how many devs do we have in the audience?
Quite some.
devs, developers, but QA or product, but non-DBA specialists, because mostly it's a mixture of DBA and then a whole bunch of other people. So, so that's very much the target audience. I mean, for DBAs, it's, you know, hopefully you know all this already.
Still, when I look at these three systems, I would say asynchronous replication is maybe the hardest one to really understand and manage well. I mean, I can easily understand the single database because it's down, and you just wait. I also understand the synchronous system because your data is really safe, but you pay a relatively high price for it. But the system in the middle, I think it's the most widely used. But for me, maybe it's different for some of you, but I always think this is the most difficult one to explain and actually understand.
I'm still taken away with the fact that sync replication, you can be ahead and behind. And you don't know. That's the one which just like makes my head hurt, but for reporting and potentially for failover.
Okay, so we're pretty good. Replication, usually we don't lose data, except for the asynchronous replication. When you have a single database and you have to wait for it to come back, the recovery time objective can be high, but you don't lose data. For the asynchronous replication, the recovery point objective might be significant, nobody knows, but at least it's quick back online. And for synchronous replication, you pay the price in delays all the time, but at least the RPO and RTO are really low.
Absolutely. So, any Q&A?
Should we talk about network?
Oh, well, I mean, the network is the bane of the, you know, of the distributed systems. So Letitia mentioned CAP theorem. So, are you going to go for consistency or are you going to go for availability?
Yeah.
If that network problem.
Okay. And today we only have been talking about high available databases or database clusters. We didn't talk about backup. I would not recommend you just having these systems and no backup. That we didn't mention it in this context doesn't mean you don't need it. Just to be sure. All right.
Cool. Yes, I think that was the very final point on the slide is you always need a backup. This is high availability. So some people get confused because the replica is a backup for availability, but it's not like a traditional database backup. If you corrupt your data, you know, there's an Adyen bug or there's a PostgreSQL bug. Both happen very, very rarely, but they're things we have to protect against. We could lose data.
I think we have seen both.
We have definitely seen both. I mean, like, these are very big, and Adyen hits all the corner cases, the scale.
But let's keep it easy. Let's stick to the systems. And are there any questions? I will be giving my mic to Teresa.
So, thank you. Before we start the questions, maybe just let me offer electrical elephant to Derk, and another for Dave, and an additional one for Thomas for all the help with the song. So okay. Say thank to him, please.
Will do. Thank you very much.
So, questions. Do I see any? Okay. Dave, can I have your mic, please? Thanks. Thank you.
I'm looking forward for the in-person quorum-based replication and with the split brain for next time.
We worked hard to keep this story relatively easy. I know there are very ugly edge cases and there's enough material to talk for another hour. Maybe we'll do it one time. I like the invitation, but for today, we just try to keep it easy.
Okay, last question, please.
I volunteer next time as failover manager.
Okay, I think we can wrap up.